That was Vice President Joe Biden last night talking about decisions that he has watched President Obama make for the last 4 years. But has America turned the corner when it comes to jobs? This year alone, we've seen the rate of job creation drop sharply. Only 96,000 added in the month of August, and the federal number crunchers cut their estimates for job creation in both June and July, which they often do. The unemployment rate declined to 8.1%, moving in the right direction, but only because 368,000 Americans have just given up looking for work. Simon Constable, columnist for the Wall Street Journal, author of the book, The Wall Street Journal's Guide to the 50 Economic Indicators That Really Matter. Charles Payne, CEO of WStreet.com and Fox Business Network contributor. And John Hlinko, founder of Left Action and president of Hlinko Consulting. Gentlemen, welcome to all of you.
Thank you.
All right, Simon, I'll start with you. I mean, as the White House points out, the unemployment number is down. The recovery is continuing. 4.6 million jobs, private sector jobs have been created. That all sounds like good news.
Not really. We're not even keeping up with population growth. You need to, it's like in the Alice in Wonderland, you've got to run faster just to stay in the same place. You need to create at least 150,000 jobs a month just to stay up with, people entering the labor force, people graduating college, leaving high school. That's not happening. We're nowhere near that, and we really need a heck of a lot more. And to make a dent in unemployment, we need to be up near 250,000, 300,000 jobs a month. This is nowhere near it. It doesn't look to me like we have turned the corner. And we're seeing a lot of weakness in manufacturing, and that really matters. That's where a lot of highly paid hourly jobs are, and we're seeing that decline.
Well, and Charles, last night in his speech, the president, I believe the number was 1 million new manufacturing jobs that he's pledging to bring. Do you think he could make that happen in a second term based on what you're seeing in the numbers this month?
Unless they completely destroyed a dollar to the point where our exports are just so attractive compared to other countries, the answer would probably be no. Listen, it goes even further than what Simon was saying, because here's the real problem from my perspective. 8 million people have dropped out of the labor force since the president was inaugurated. These are people who have totally given up on the American dream. The employment to population ratio, that means for how many people there are in working age, is down to 58%. Under 50 is what sparked the Arab Spring. You should see white teenagers at 28%, black teenagers 14%. Of all black teenagers in August, summer job season, who could have had a summer job, only 14% of them had it. Are you kidding me? Turning a corner? Which corner?
Yeah, and Simon, I know that's something you mentioned, and John, I will get to you. We're not ignoring you over here, but Simon, I know that you had mentioned you're worried about young people because their unemployment rate is higher than the average population, and if they can't find jobs,
well, it's not just that they can't find jobs. I mean, those that can find, if you can't find a job, that's awful, particularly when you've worked so hard in school and then in college.
And you've got debt.
And you've got debt, and you're coming out. But even if you get a job, nothing's happening because there's so few little movement in the workforce that it's hard to move ahead. So those years when you see a lot of acceleration in your career and you build that foundation, that isn't really happening. People are stuck in entry-level jobs for a lot longer than they used to be, certainly than when we were starting.
So, John, what does the administration now do with these numbers? I mean, the president is out talking about the fact that, I never promised you this was going to be easy. Come on the path with me. It's going to be a hard path, but it will get us in the right direction.
Well, yeah, we got to remember the context we came in from. In the last month of the Bush administration, we lost 741,000 jobs. If that trend had continued, we'd be in a second-grade depression. I mean, we'd be in, 35% unemployment. That being said, we need faster growth. We need faster job growth. I think I would totally agree, especially for young people. I mean, that sets your career path for life. It's very important. And that is why I would ask the Republicans in the House, why are you not acting on the jobs bill? Where's Mitt Romney's plan?
Why?
Yeah. No, well, and the House Republicans, the first thing that they'll say is we've passed 29 jobs bills and they go to the Senate to
tax
die.
cuts and tax cuts. But
you're talking about a $447 billion jobs bill to create 1 million jobs? I mean, this is the problem. If you look at the stimulus and forget about the fake, phony, would-be jobs, but the jobs you can arguably say they created at what, 200, 300, 400 grand per job? I mean, this is not how you create an economy. As long as the president continues to threaten profits, continues to threaten corporations.
Come on, give me a break. The stimulus brought down unemployment from 10% to 8%.
Wait, no. 8 million people leaving the job market. If the same amount of job participation was in that same as the inauguration, we'd be over 11% unemployment right now.
But we've obviously created jobs. I mean, some people dropping out, yeah, that does impact it. There's no two ways about it. But the stimulus, according to 92% of economists surveyed by the University of Chicago, the stimulus created jobs. Why are we not doing this? Look, nobody wants government spending, but when consumers aren't spending and businesses aren't spending,
government is the point, though. That's my point. Consumers have money. Businesses have money. They aren't spending, they aren't investing because they are afraid. This dark shadow over our economy that says, you know, the dark shadow of we will punish success. That dark shadow.
Oh, come on. Now, back here in reality.
There was other stuff, too. I talked with a young entrepreneur last night, and she said she spends a few hours a week just dealing with admin stuff, with regulations and dealing with, you know, all of that sort of tax filings and everything for her employees. And it's a small business. She wants to not be doing that and actually be doing the job of being an entrepreneur, going out and selling stuff.
From during the Clinton administration, we had.
It doesn't matter how different it is. It matters that it's preventing her from growing her business and hiring people. No moral relativism here, please. It's stopping her doing what she needs to do.
Oh, come on. I mean, if demand were 10, 20, 30% is higher than what it is now, I'm sure she'd find a way to deal with the regulations.
But
regulation that's exactly it. It's lack of demand. And when consumers are not spending and businesses are not spending, look, no one wants government spending. I mean, but when it is the spender of last resort, that's what needs to be done to jumpstart the economy.
Charles, don't we get into central planning when that happens? The government saying, we're going to spend money and we'll choose which companies survive.
At this very moment, Lululemon stock is up like 15%. You know, you could have made $1 zillion on it. People are spending on things that they want to spend on, but the idea of real, true investments, particularly from the business perspective, is frightening.
Well, have you
Businesses have $1.5 trillion.
Have you driven on a highway lately? We need infrastructure improvements. We desperately need them. Let's do it. I mean, think about what President Eisenhower did with the interstate highway system. Think about how.
I crunched Eisenhower's numbers last night, too, for his entire term, and he netted 5 million jobs. Right after the infrastructure thing was over, we had a couple of years where almost every month was negative job creation. These temporary job scenarios that you talk about.
But they're not temporary jobs.
They are temporary jobs. If someone patches a hole in a bridge, it's a temp job. I don't listen. I want my bridges to be nice, but we're talking about bringing out the organic strength of America. I think that's hiding in a bunker somewhere.
But there's this creature of regulation. Show me, what are all these new regulations that have come about that have made businesses so afraid?
I'm afraid that would launch the two of you on another 5-minute segment.
And I think we'd be on a whole different subject.
So John, Charles, and Simon, thank you very much for sharing your business expertise. And I do spend a lot of money at Lululemon. I alone might be responsible for their stock prices going up.
At least you kept us out of a second double dip recession.
All by myself. My husband will tell you that. All right. Thank you, gentlemen, very much.